Now is time for History in the Making, starring Quay Parks. Good evening, everyone. This is Quay Parks reporting live from Orlando, Florida. Today is February 9th, 1950, and the time is 5 o'clock p.m. Earlier this evening, Senator Joseph R McCarthy delivered a speech in Wheeling, West Virginia. The senator was speaking to a group of women belonging to the Ohio Country Women's Republic Club, and the topic, the threat of communism here in the United States. I'm sure we all remember that in August of last year, the Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb, and just a few months after, a spy network was uncovered. Scientists here in the U.S. were transferring information to the Soviet Union to aid in the development of the atomic bomb. Two of these scientists were convicted of their crimes and sentenced to death. The Attorney General J. Howard McGrath claimed that these American communists carried the germ of death for society. Senator McCarthy reminded the American population that American communists are everywhere. They may even be holding top government positions, and President Truman can do nothing about it. He claimed to have a list of 205 known communists, and the government still does nothing about it. We do not have an official video, but we do have transcripts of his speech. I will now read the section aloud as it appears on the screen. This is glaringly true in the State Department. There, the bright young men who were born with silver spoons in their mouths are the ones who have been the most treacherous. I have here in my hand a list of 205, a list of names that were made known to the Secretary of State as being members of the Communist Party and who, nevertheless, are still working and shaping policy in the State Department. He did not stop there. He went on to describe the type of people who chose to betray the trust of the fellow Americans and aid the Soviets. The reason why we find ourselves in a position of infancy is not because our only powerful potential enemy has sent men to invade our shores, but rather because of the treacherous actions of those who have been treated so well by this nation. It has not been the less fortunate or members of minority groups who have been treacherous to this nation, but rather those who have had all the benefits that the wealthiest nation on earth has had to offer: the finest homes, the finest college education, and the finest jobs in the government we can give. It is frightening to think that we are living in a nation that is not taking all the proper precautions to protect its people. I believe that we as Americans can all agree that our government needs to act and stop these communists. They are hurting the American way. We are becoming outnumbered, and the senator was kind enough to point this out. Today, only 6 years later, there are 800 million people under the absolute domination of Soviet Russia, an increase of over 400%. On our side, the figure has shrunk to about 500 million. In other words, in less than 6 years, the odds have changed from 9 to 1 in our favor to 8 to 5 against us. This indicates the swiftness of the tempo of communist victories and American defeats in the Cold War. As one of our outstanding historical figures once said, when a great democracy is destroyed, it will not be because of enemies from without, but rather because of enemies from within. The truth of this statement is becoming terrifyingly clear as we see this country each day losing on every front. That is all for today. Remember, this is Quay Parks reporting to you live in regards to the communist threat here in America. Have a great evening.